Welcome, one and all, to Conversations with a Fan, the series where I talk to you, the fans, about what you want to talk about. Today, I've got an interesting episode. I mean, for the team ones, we've done two ones about New York teams, one about a Las Vegas team, and today we've got the Washington football team, and I'm talking with my man Alex Payne right there on my left or right. I don't know where he's going to be because I haven't edited yet. But Alex, why don't you tell us how long you've been a fan and why you continue to be a fan to this day?
So growing up as a kid, I live in Fredonia, which is the Buffalo area. You'd think I'd be a Bills fan, but my dad always hated the Bills. I don't know why he liked the Redskins, but I was always raised to like the Redskins. So pretty much as long as I remember, I've been rooting for the Washington football team now. I do like the Bills now, but I don't know, something about it just keeps coming back to me. Maybe it's because it's fun to root for just a terrible team. I don't know. Maybe it's the color. Maybe it's the uncertainty of my future. But I don't know. Just something about it just keeps me coming back. I love them.
Because I think uncertainty is a good way to describe this football team. I don't know if there's a better word to say it. But with that said, let's kick it off with the first question. You stumbled a bit with the name there, and that's what it's about. I think it was 2019 or 2020. It was 2019. The name change happened. Redskins was out, and the committee agreed that Washington football team was the name. And now Dan Snyder's thinking about keeping it around for the future. First off, I want to ask, what was your reaction to the news of the name change? How do you like Washington football team? And do you think it'll stick around for the future?
Well, personally, I didn't think the change away from Redskins was a surprise. Times are changing. It's not the same world that it was 40 years ago. You can't really be saying that kind of thing anymore. Washington football team, it was kind of whatever, when it first came around. But as time has gone on, it's kind of grown on me. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of like just the simplistic merch. Do I think it's going to stick around? Probably not. This season we're sticking with Washington football team, but maybe next year, the year after that, I think it's probably going out because I know most of the fans want to change.
You kind of said it, the minimalistic type deal that you guys have the W on the helmets and then Washington on your hat right there. I can't lie, I'm kind of digging it as well. I mean, because you've got it's just a variation to like what all these other teams are doing between like San Diego Color Rush or the St. Louis Rams just changing their whole color scheme. It's really simple, and I honestly really like it. Do you have any ideas for what the name could be in the future?
There's been a lot of like polls and things for what do the fans want, and the one that I've really seen that, and honestly they're all pretty bad, but the one that's least terrible that I've seen is probably I like the Red Wolves. Honestly, I'm on team football team now.
You can't say it any other better way. Football team. On to more of what's going on to the gridiron. Ever since Kirk Cousins left Washington, the quarterback spot has been very up for grabs from year to year. Started off with Case Keenum, then you guys had the Dwayne Haskins that was supposed to be his era. Then Alex Smith came in, and then Goat Heineke came in last season at the tail end of it. And now you've got Fitzmagic. I mean, I don't know, from a fan perspective, that sounds like the most interesting, coolest group of quarterbacks of all time. But what has been your process been like year to year as you see all of these quarterbacks just go in and out of the starting position?
It's definitely been a ride, a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. I don't know if anyone really liked the Dwayne Haskins pick, but I was willing to give him the chance, and he just couldn't take advantage of it. He had a great arm, and I thought maybe he had some good critical thinking skills on the field, but he just showed time and time again that he couldn't do it. With Fitzmagic, I love the guy. He's a good quarterback. He does his job, but let's be honest, he's not the future. He's like the best backup ever, but he's not a starter, Heineke, I mean, I think they should give him a chance. That performance against the Bucs was just insane. I mean, it was the best QB play we saw all year, and it was against Super Bowl champions. He's pretty young. He's 28, so he's got a few years left, a good few years left in him. So I think if they try to develop him a little more, he could end up working out really well for us. And it sounds like he's been looking like a stud in training camp so far. So maybe they'll give him a shot this year and kind of have what the Dolphins had last year, alternate a little bit with Fitzmagic and Tua. Honestly, though, with QBs, all bets are off. It's kind of scary. FedEx Field is kind of where quarterbacks go to die.
Yeah.
Last year we had Joe Burrow tearing his ACL, Kyle Allen 2 weeks before that just completely destroyed his ankle. Alex Smith obviously fractured his tibia and fibula, just completely ended his career. Yeah, RG3 tore his ACL 20 years ago, 30 years ago now. Joe Theismann, same injury as Alex Smith. So even if we do somehow find our QB, I'm still gonna be fearing for our lives, because at any point I'm sure he'll just get hit by a truck or something.
Man, bringing up all those names, man, that's not some good memories, man.
It's horrible. I mean,
yeah.
so many players that just could have been great, like, just have been killed by the Washington football team.
Well, on to something more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned it before that with Taylor Heineke. You guys last year, you won the formidable NFC East with a 7-9 record. Whew.
The dumpster fire. It is the NFC least.
God, I can't wait to put that graphic up on here right now.
Fantastic.
But yeah, you won. You got the 4th seed, and you faced the Tampa Bay Bucks, the eventual Super Bowl champions, as you said. What was it like to see that game? You guys compete probably the most that any team in the playoffs did, with such an amazing team like Tom Brady's, like Bruce Arians' Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It was really exciting, actually. I mean, after going 7-9, I really wasn't expecting much going into the playoffs. I knew we were going to lose, but I thought we were just going to be a massacre, but it was fantastic just watching Heineke work out there, and honestly put up a better fight than the Chiefs did, for sure. It was super exciting, and just watching the improvement over like the 2019 season, where I think we went 3-13 versus 7-9 last season. It's fantastic. Like, going into the future, getting rid of Jay Gruden, bringing in Ron Rivera, hopefully having a decent quarterback this year. I'm just excited to go into next season. I think maybe we can take the division again, assuming Dak Prescott doesn't absolutely pop off.
He was about to.
I know. we got lucky. I'll admit that, but Cowboys also suck.
Actually, I want to get into that a little bit. What do you think your chances are this season in the NFC East? Because the Eagles look like they're kind of falling apart.
Oh no, I think the Eagles are going to come in last, followed by the Giants. And honestly, I think that we can beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they really fell apart last year, for sure. They lost their starting QB, so that's understandable. But at the same time, like, without Dak Prescott, they are not a team. Washington doesn't need a good QB to win games, and we proved that last year. Our defense definitely carries us, and I'm confident they can do it again.
Now on to some quick 1 to 2 minute answers for these questions. The last ones were more in depth. These ones you can go in depth on, but like it's just more like shorter questions, just about the upcoming season. The weapons that you have on this team, from an outsider's perspective, look incredible. I mean, at the wide receiver slots, you have Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin. At the running back position, you got Antonio Gibson, who in the middle of the season was on a roll. And then at the tight end spot, Logan Thomas, who last year looked like he was about
kind of proved
to
himself. Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think that having all of these weapons and adding Curtis Samuel is a sign for this season that you guys are going to absolutely pop off on offense?
I don't know if pop off. I think pop off might be putting it a little strongly. I am very excited. This is the best that the offense has looked in like the last decade. I'm very excited about Curtis Samuel. Terry McLaurin has been pretty much our only, like, I'd say elite receiving threat since he was drafted, and finally taking some pressure off of him. We might see some, a little fewer triple and double teams on him, and maybe he can actually put some work in, because he's a fantastic receiver, but hasn't really been able to do much. And now he's got a decent quarterback throwing to him as well. Very excited about that. Antonio Gibson and JD McKissick, fantastic pair of receiving backs. Very excited to see what they can do this year. Logan Thomas, I think he proved himself that he can be a competent tight end last year. He had a few games where he just absolutely popped off. And again, I'm just excited to see him again. I've never been this excited for a season, just in my entire football watching life.
Big words, big talk. I mean,
Yeah.
but like, past decade for y'all, it has been rough. I'll say that, but like, yeah, this team does look bright. Next up, defensive line. Like that was at the beginning of the season. Your defensive line was all the rage of the NFL between the up and coming Matthew Idonis, of course Chase Young. God,
Chase Young, Montez Sweat,
Sweat too. Yeah,
I think our defense is finally like worthy of being called elite this year. A couple of pieces come together. Cam Curl at a safety. It really wasn't expecting much from him. I think he was a third, fourth round pick or something, but he just really showed that he can shine. Had a fantastic season last year. Kendall Fuller, John Bostic. We just have a great group of guys, and most of them are pretty young. The future is looking bright for the Washington defense. Hopefully even better than last year. I don't know. We did lose a few key players like Ryan Kerrigan. Unfortunately, went to the Eagles. He was been one of the only bright spots in the Washington fans' life in the last several years. But like I said, I'm excited for the future.
Speaking of Kerrigan, some quick words on that. You already said like it's been an honor to have him, and it's sad to see him go. But what is it like to see him? There it is, the jersey, folks. What is it like to see him go to the Eagles of all places?
I like to tell myself that he just retired. I don't like to accept that he went to the Eagles because that's just a worst case scenario for me. He's been my favorite player in the entire league. Well, one of them. It's just so upsetting to see him go to a horrible team. But maybe he'll see some more playing time than he did last year because they don't really have anyone else.
Yeah. And then lastly, in one of these quick fires, I think this one's a bit of a more personal one. You went to UB. I watched UB the whole season, and our guy, former UB running back Jarrett Patterson, signed as an undrafted free agent to the Washington football team. He's looked good during some training drills and all that. What's it like to see a guy from your former college, maybe future college? We don't know at this point.
Yeah.
But what's it like to see a guy that you watched and was at your college now on this team? And do you see him contributing for the future? I don't know.
It's honestly very exciting. Watching UB games, it was always super exciting to see him watch. He had fantastic seasons every year he played, 1,000+ yard seasons. I think his sophomore year, he got like 1,800 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns or something. Not to mention his 8 rushing touchdowns in a single game. Got a couple of conference MVPs, I know, but it's super exciting to see. I'm honestly surprised he went undrafted, but I don't know if he can put up those same numbers in the NFL. He definitely can't, but I don't know how much game time he's actually going to see. I mean, we've got 2 great young running backs that we just picked up, and Antonio Gibson and JD McKissick. So I hope he does see some playing time, and I'm looking forward to watching him run again.
I mean, don't you guys also have Peyton Barber still, or is he not on?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
There's 3 guys that have experience.
Yeah. Honestly, with the way our games go, I'm sure at least 2 of them will break their legs or something. So he'll probably see some time.
So as with every other team fan that I have interviewed in this series, we've got 3 final questions, although one of them is going to be different. The first one, you and I have talked multiple times about this man, and I know how much you love him. Washington football team punter, Tress Way. Why do you like this dude so much?
Oh my God.
Explain.
Tress Way is an absolute legend. Thing about him is he might not have the strongest leg in the NFL, but he is so consistent, and he's always been there for me,
For you.
For Washington's terrible offense. Washington is 3 and out more than often than not. And it's always makes you feel safe knowing that Tress Way is there to put it within the 20 every single time. He's just so maddeningly consistent that it's ridiculous. You can't point at a single season of Tress Way and say, man, that was a bad season. Maybe you can't point at a single season and say, man, he was the best punter in the NFL that season, but he's just always been there for us in our times of need, which have been many. Not to mention, even taking punts out of the equation, he's got a QBR of, I think it's 118.8 or something. 100% completion rate. That's higher than Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the man can do it all. Not to mention, I think he was the quarterback in the winning team of the Madden World Championships. So
Oh my
he's got
God.
that going for him too. Off the field, he's just as legendary. I mean, he's just such a personality. He's such a nice guy. He's voted captain of special teams his second year on the field. If you haven't seen the NFL film special on him, I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. He just gives you a glimpse of how nice of a guy he is. Also, he makes board games in his spare time. So, interesting fact about Tress Way.
And I got to look up those board games then. But also, I mean, I've watched that NFL films thing on him multiple times. It's so awesome to just see him when he's mic'd up, even back in high school.
It's so heartwarming. And like, who would expect the NFL to mic up a punter and just
it's the best thing.
It's just a fantastic experience. Go watch it.
Yeah, I'll link it below if you're curious. But yeah, number 2 in these, we've already established favorite player and why. Now, is there that one memory or that one section of your life where if I say Washington football team, you vividly remember this and it represents your fandom so well?
I'm gonna have to go with the Thanksgiving Day game last year against the Cowboys. It just looked like it was such a fun game, and honestly, obviously we beat the Cowboys, so that's always a good day. They were out there playing trick plays and just having a great time, and I think that is the moment when I looked at it and thought, maybe we don't suck quite as bad as we used to, you know?
You're one of the most candid fans I've ever heard of. Like, you just say it like it is, and
we're so bad. We've been so bad for so long. Like I'm just so excited that we might not be quite as bad anymore.
And then, final question I have for you: how can you describe? And this word can be just one word, or it can be hyphenated. I don't care. In one word, describe the Washington football team fan base. Go.
I'm very uncertain of the future, but for the first time in so long, I am hopeful, and I think that's a good word for our fan base right now. It's like it's the first ray of sunshine we've seen since Dan Snyder bought the team, and I don't know. I think we got some good times ahead of us.
Yeah, hopeful. You gotta love when there's hope in people's minds. Man, Alex, thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I've learned some stuff about the Washington football team. We got our little socials right here. If you want to continue the conversation with Alex, you can. I'm hoping it's okay with him. You can talk some Washington football team there. He's shaking his head no.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Right, yeah. If you want to talk with Alex about the Washington football team, link below his over there. If you want to join me and talk about your favorite sport, team, or player, talk to me down below in this social, and I can try and get you on this show. And thank you for anybody watching towards this end, and peace out.